In kindergarten, you learned your ABCs. In retirement, you need to learn your RMDs, required minimum distributions. Jim Lineweaver's here to spell out the specifics. He's a certified financial planner with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Thanks for joining us, Jim.
My pleasure.
All right, so RMDs are letters, but really required minimum distributions are really more like a math problem, right?
They are, and you got to get it right. You can't fail this test because if you do, the penalty is really big. So what happens is every time you get all this tax deferral through your life, build some good retirement plans, whether it be through annuities or 401ks or whatever, but at some point in time you got to start paying back Uncle Sam some of the taxes that you're going to owe, and that's where this required minimum distribution comes in at age 70 and a half.
All right, so what do we do at 70 and a half?
What happens is you got to look at when you turn age 70 and a half, because you're going to have to start taking about 3.5% out of your actual retirement plans. And so you got to calculate this RBD, or this required beginning date. And what it does is it falls into April 1st of the year after you turn age 70 and a half.
Okay, so can you give us an example so we can...
We can, because this can be kind of confusing.
Yeah.
So let's say you turned 70 in September of last year, so 2010.
Okay.
So actually on March 30th of this year, you turned 70 and a half. That means your required minimum beginning date is actually going to be April 1st of 2012. However, you got to be careful because it could kick you into another tax bracket. Because even though you take your distribution in 2012 for 2011, you're also going to have to take a distribution for 2012.
So it's double, which means it may mean more income, which raises your...
possibly kick you into another tax bracket. So a lot of times when you do advanced planning on this, sometimes we'll have people take their distribution in 2011, even though it's not required, and then therefore they only have one distribution to take in 2012.
Right, so do you have a choice? Do you have to wait and take a double in that second year, or could you take the first required distribution the year earlier, in your example, 2011?
You can, and that's what we recommend for most people, because what ends up happening is just get you into that routine, because if you miss it by April 1st of the next year, you got a big penalty. But once you start it then, and then every year thereafter, you just have to make your required minimum distributions.
And how do you figure how much you have to take out?
There's a table that the IRS publishes, and it's based on your age, and it's a factor. So you just divide your account balances based on December 31st of the prior year, divided by that factor, and that gives you the exact amount that you have to take for a required minimum distribution. And don't forget, it doesn't have to be a small piece out of every IRA you have. You could just take it all from one, as long as you take out the appropriate amount.
And what do you do with the money when you take it out?
Well, you can go spend it, keep the economy going.
Good.
That'd be helpful.
That's good. Okay.
You could gift it to kids. You could, put it into other investments that don't have those required distributions down the road, or you could even purchase life insurance to do some estate planning.
All right, now, this is complicated. I get so many questions on these kind of IRA distributions. Is there a place we can get more information?
You can. There's IRS, publications out there. You can actually log onto our own site. If people want the chart, we'll be able to provide it for them for free. And we also have a seminar coming up on Tuesday, September 20th, and also Thursday, September 22nd. And we're going to cover all this information on required minimum distributions.
Very helpful. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
All right, the ABCs of RMDs. They're not as simple as 1, 2, 3. To add up how they work, talk to Jim for a spell. Call him at the number that's coming up next.
To find out more, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net. Next, a checklist to help prevent prostate cancer.